What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about the news, several days old for sure. I want to talk about how Horizon is still coming out in 2021, Horizon Forbidden West. So this has been a game that every time they even remotely mention it, or if they show a PlayStation ad or whatever, one of the first things I think people always go to is like, what's the hidden secret for Horizon, right? Remember, the first time they talked about it, they said spring. Then all the ads said fall. And they kept saying fall, okay? And Horizon is still regarded as a 2021 release, even before the recent statements where they said, like, yeah, the game is still planning to launch this year, which is, again, really, really good. And this came out when they talked about all these new games coming to PlayStation, right? A couple days ago, they talked about how they have 25 games into production. Over half of them are not actually sequels or kind of like spin-off games or like actually a brand new original games, which is awesome. And I think things like that are really all the things that people hope to hear from Sony when we talk about their lack of communication and how they seemingly have been dropping the ball. Honestly, it's not even that hard to please people. It's not that, and I guess I can say people, I can maybe speak for other people, but I can also speak for myself better than anybody else, right? And I can say that even for me, I don't need to know every single thing that's going on. I mean, I do love leaks, I do love rumors, I do love hearing about these things, but if they kept quiet and did their normal that they, over the past year and a half, 2 years that they haven't really commented much, and then from time to time they just drop out there, we have X amount of games that we're working on. I mean, that honestly goes a very, very long way. So with that content drop, I guess you could call it, they did also say that Horizon is still releasing in 2021. Notice, guys, by the way, God of War, a game that I have called since literally day one, the day after they announced God of War at that State of Play, or the Future Gaming, or whatever they called it, in September, okay? The day after, I talked about how I believe the game is going to be delayed, okay? I feel like I was honestly one of the first people to say it on the internet, and I will always have that to my credit, because guess what? The game is definitely not coming out this year, okay? I can guarantee you that it's not coming out this year, because they never mention it. They talk about Horizon, they talk about Ghostwire Tokyo, they talk about Deathloop. They never talk about God of War. Maybe it's like a stealth launch, but honestly, no, it's not. I really truly believe that it's not. So God of War, negative, but at the same time, I've been expecting it for almost a year now to be delayed and for it to just not release this year, but Horizon is. So honestly, that has to do with part of what the title is. Like, thank God that Horizon is coming out this year. Now, look, I'm not one to demand games released tomorrow, right? One of the main things I've kind of built this channel and the main channel on is, again, like the leaks and rumors, where I could be talking about a game or a game franchise for years before it ends up happening. Gotham Knights, Hogwarts Legacy, all sorts of different games. There's been loads of games I talked about that, even games now that still aren't real, that we're still talking about that are not actually confirmed. So I'm not one to say the game needs to come out at any given time. But you look at it from a business perspective, the game would help. I mean, Sony would have, if this game doesn't come out this year or this fall, Sony would have nothing. Now, technically, they have Deathloop in September, and they have Ghostwire Tokyo, which last we heard was October. It doesn't have a release date, which does put it in, I would say, jeopardy of potentially being delayed. And maybe it will, but maybe it still comes out at the end of the year. Honestly, though, that truly isn't enough. For the first, not that people can still get a PS5, but for the first Black Friday, and for the first, and this is the first holiday season after like a full year into the PS5. Demand is going to be high. Demand's going to be very high. And I guess you could argue that they really don't need to do anything because it still sells. It's selling faster than all these other consoles throughout history. Not all of them, but like quite a bit of them, right? It's doing phenomenal, and nobody can even get the thing. And it's still breaking records, right? So it's like, do we even need games? Do we even need to put anything out? Probably not. Probably not. But you look, I mean, from a gamer perspective, I don't know about you guys, but I bought my PS5 to play games on it, to play exclusive games on it, because and that's been my argument for PlayStation forever. It's, you buy it for the exclusives, because if it has everything, or if other consoles have the exact same thing that it has, it loses so much of its power and its its ability to kind of grab people. So Returnal, Demon Souls, in a smaller way, very small way, Destruction All Stars, but Ratchet and Clank is coming out very soon. Now you have games like Kena Bridge of Spirits that's on PC, PS4, PS5. Ghostwire Tokyo, I don't think that's just on PS5. Deathloop, a lot of these games, and even now Horizon is not also only on PS5. It's on PS4 as well. So, and I've said it before, I think that's a really bad idea. I don't like that for loads of reasons, but you know, people get mad at me when I say that, so we have to move on from it. But from a business perspective, definitely big for Sony that they get this game out, you know, I guess in time that they plan. And then from a consumer perspective, from a fan perspective, again, not demanding it, but it would be nice. It would be nice because you look at it, Halo Infinite is probably coming out for Xbox. And I'm not saying like, oh, Sony needs this game to compete. I mean, they do from like a business side, but that maybe sounds like I'm taking sides, and I don't really want to be perceived like that. I want games to play. I want big games to play. So like Battlefield 6, I will play. Halo Infinite, I will play. I'd like a Sony one in there, I guess, to be fair to myself and to be fair to all the companies. I want an equivalent. You know what I mean? So I'm really hoping. And also I should say, I'm a pretty big fan of Horizon. I think it's one of the better PlayStation exclusives. I think it's one of the better PS4 games. So like, I'm absolutely pumped for Forbidden West, even though I do think it should only be on PS5. And you can dislike the video and tell me how much you hate that in the comments. But I really hope it comes out. It really seems to me like, oh, I'll be honest, it seems to me like there's still a very big chance it doesn't. Like, I know everything that they say in all their ads and all this stuff, they always push it that it still is releasing. But I almost feel like they're doing that because there's such a high chance that it could be delayed that they want to give people some sort of like satisfaction or like calming, like a calmness that the game is coming out this year. You know what I mean? I mean, you can perceive it in any way that you want, but just the way that history over the last year for games has shown us, a lot of games have been pushed in one way or the other. So if the game wants to be in the fall, I think they want it really badly. But at the same time, I think there is a real chance it's pushed. But I almost feel like in a weird way that's pushing Sony to almost maybe even over guarantee that the game comes out this year. So trying to play, I guess, devil's advocate against myself and against Sony, but I really am hoping the game comes out this year. Every time they say that it is, it does. I would assume it makes me feel better. I assume it makes other people feel better, right? Because at least they're saying it. I mean, they could just leave it alone. The God of War thing is, I mean, it couldn't be more obvious the game's not. And why is honestly almost for the simple reason that they just haven't talked about it at all. And they haven't even reassured us about it. You know what I mean? Whereas for Horizon, they're so pushy, in a good way, pushy that the game's coming out this year, where it's like, please don't believe the game's delayed because it is still coming out this year. So we'll have to see how it goes. I do expect some sort of show that Sony will do in the summertime, and hopefully when that happens, we will see gameplay and a release date for Horizon. So let me know, guys, in the comments below, what do you think? Do you think the game could still be delayed? Do you think it comes out? What are you going to get it on? All that stuff, let me know in the comments. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. I do a brand new video on this channel every single day, and so I hope to see you guys for tomorrow's video.